Hey, today I want to talk to you about me, Jesus, the Bible, and the tarot. Salvation, your path, your journey. Okay, first of all, I am a born again Christian, baptized at age 12. I believe in the Bible. I don't understand it all. I don't understand what heaven is like. Is it like the shack? Is it really streets of gold? I mean, that sounds so cold. I believe in reading books, walking in grace. God hears her. God hears me. And this is one I like. The Praying Wife Illuminated by Story O'Meriton. I've had 3 different versions of this book and 3 husbands. The last one I think is a keeper. But I also know God doesn't want you to stay in a marriage of domestic violence, no matter what the holy rollers say that believe you should stay for better or worse. Wrong. God doesn't condone that. Sometimes instead of tarot cards, I give out Bible verse cards, and I'm going to read you one. Above all, show sincere love to each other, because love brings about the forgiveness of many sins. And believe me, I'm a woman of many sins. I've broken all the commandments, but I still know that God forgives me. The good news, we all sin. I can only speak for myself. Now, my mother, at the end of her life, she told the hospice preacher that she had never sinned. So that's okay. But love leads to forgiveness, so act with love in everything you do. Then you will live a gracious and faithful life. I've always been judged, misunderstood, a paradox. I've been called a harlot and more, a Jezebel. Been told that I was going to hell because I read tarot cards. I've been accepted into the choir at a little Methodist church, Singleton Ridge Road, Centenary. And then a woman in the audience told the preacher she was tired of seeing the witch up there singing hymns. Well, that hurt. The preacher even told me, that tarot cards were wrong. Wearing eye makeup made me a harlot. He'd call me Jezebel while I was in the choir. But he'd also go out to Suck Bang Blow with me, and then I'd serve communion with him. So I think we all have a little where we do wrong, right? Or we're misguided. So I wanted to show you this deck, the Biblical Tarot, which is a new deck, and I really love it. This one card, the 3 of Chalices, the 3 of Cups, this talks about when Jesus turned the water into wine. And as you know, some people think drinking wine or alcohol is wrong. But it says, and the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. John 2:9. This represents the 3 of Cups. I believe God wants us to celebrate. I believe it's okay if we drink a little bit of wine. The 9 of Chalices. This is about opening your heart up to love, opening your heart up to forgiveness, opening your heart up to joy. At the time when the Jews got relief from their enemies, and as the month when their sorrow was turned into joy and their mourning into a day of celebration. There's a time to dance and a time to mourn. Esther 9:22. The Feast of Purim, the 9 of Chalices, 9 of Cups. The 10 of Chalices, the 10 of Cups. I often call it the Happy Family card. Rainbow of happiness, a happy ending, love. There's a baby here. He will be a joy and delight to you, and many will rejoice because of his birth. We rejoice if we believe in Jesus' birth, which I do. This is Luke 1:14, and this is Elizabeth and Zechariah's joy. So children definitely bring joy. So what I'm getting at by this talk that I'm having with you is that I personally have a walk with Jesus Christ. I read for people who are Jewish, who are Islam, who are Pentecostal. Sometimes they sneak in because they don't want their husbands or their preacher to know. Shh. But I personally believe that there is nothing wrong with the tarot as a psychological tool. Some people say they can speak in tongues. I'm sure you've heard them if you've been to a Pentecostal church. It can be scary if you were born a Baptist like me, but who am I to judge? I do believe there were prophets in the old days. I believe there are prophets now. I do